Imagine you are driving home alone. It is late, Halloween night. The fog sits low across the Wisconsin cornfields, and the road is empty. Then your front tire lifts off the ground. You have hit something. You stop the car. You get out. You look behind you. The road is completely empty. No blood, no fur, no animal of any kind. You walk around to the back of your car, and that is when you hear it, coming fast out of the tree line. Something large, something running upright, something that, in seconds, will reach the car and grab hold of it. What happens next is not a ghost story. It is a documented witness account, one of several collected by a county official, filed in a manila folder labeled with a single word: werewolf. This is the real story behind the Beast of Bray Road. The town of Elkhorn sits about an hour south of Milwaukee, in Walworth County, Wisconsin. Population: roughly 6,500 people. Dairy farms, prairie grasslands, cornfields stretching to the horizon in every direction. The author, Linda Godfrey, once wrote that Elkhorn was known locally as the Christmas card town. Picturesque, quiet, the kind of place where the biggest local news story is a bad harvest or a county fair. Running along the outskirts of Elkhorn is Bray Road, a 17-mile stretch of rural highway that has existed under one name or another since the colonial era, when settlers called it the King's Highway. It passes farms, fields, tree lines, and a series of small properties that look, from the road, entirely unremarkable. At first, it seems ordinary, but the documented history of what has allegedly been seen along that road does not begin in the 1980s. It does not begin in the 1990s. It began in 1936, and it never truly stopped. Mark Shackleman is a night watchman at St. Coletta School for Exceptional Children, a Catholic facility for individuals with developmental disabilities located in rural Jefferson County, Wisconsin. The facility sits on land once inhabited by the Potawatomi people, and on its grounds there is a Native American burial mound, an ancient earthwork used for ceremonies, for interment, for purposes lost to time. Shackleman is in his mid-30s, a former heavyweight boxer, not a man who frightens easily. It is late in the evening when he crosses the fields near the school and sees something perched atop the burial mound, something large, something covered in dark hair, standing in a hunched, upright posture. He approaches. The creature flees. The following morning, Shackleman returns to the mound in daylight. He finds what he later describes as raking marks in the soil, as though something has been digging at the earth of the mound. That night, he goes back. The creature is there again, and this time it does not run. It turns and faces him. Shackleman estimates it to be nearly 7 feet tall. It is covered in dark hair. It gives off an odor he later describes as, and these are his words, like long dead meat. Its eyes, he says, looked right into me. And then it vocalizes. Not a bark, not a howl. A 3-syllable growl, low and deliberate. Something he can only transcribe phonetically as Gadara. Accent on the second syllable. Then I did the only thing I could do, Shackleman says later. I prayed to God to save me, and it turned and slowly walked away. For a long time I stood there. That bad smell hung in the air, and then I said another prayer of thankfulness. I never saw that thing again. Linguists and scholars who have studied the account in the years since have noted something. Gadara bears a phonetic resemblance to Gadara, a place named in the New Testament as the site where Jesus encountered a demon-possessed man emerging from tombs, living among the dead. Whether that parallel is meaningful or coincidence depends entirely on your framework for making sense of what Shackleman experienced. What is not a matter of interpretation is this. Mark Shackleman reported the encounter. His account was preserved in writing, and the burial mound where he saw the creature still exists on the grounds of St. Coletta today. One more detail about St. Coletta. It is, historically, also the facility where Rosemary Kennedy, the sister of President John F. Kennedy, was institutionalized in 1941 after her father arranged a lobotomy without her mother's knowledge. Rosemary would live out the remainder of her life at St. Coletta. The facility's history is, to put it carefully, not a light one. After 1936, the creature vanishes from the documented record for almost 50 years. At first, it seems like gossip, the kind of story that circulates at the back of a diner, dies out quickly, and is forgotten by spring. By the late 1980s, however, something shifts. John Fredrickson is the humane officer for Walworth County. His work is practical and procedural. Stray animals, livestock complaints, the ordinary machinery of rural county administration. He is not in the business of folklore, but by 1991, Fredrickson has a manila folder in his filing cabinet with a label that his position does not fully account for: Werewolf. Inside the folder, 6 or 7 note cards, each documenting a separate sighting report from county residents, unusual tracks, a hairy, pointed-eared creature chasing a deer on 2 legs across an open field, a Burger King employee who watched from the parking lot as something man-like crossed the road at a speed he did not believe was humanly possible. These are not anonymous internet reports. They are filed submissions, documentation maintained by a county official. The first witness to go fully on record is Lori Indrizzi. She is the manager of a lounge called the Jury Room in Elkhorn. It is the fall of 1989, approximately 1:30 in the morning, when she drives home along Bray Road after her shift. Off to the right side of the road, caught in the sweep of her headlights, she sees something kneeling. Its elbows are raised, its claws long, distinct, unmistakable, face outward. It appears to be holding something between those hands. Roadkill, perhaps. A carcass from the road. As the headlights pass over it, the creature does not startle. It does not bolt into the undergrowth the way a deer would, or a dog, or any animal reacting to sudden light. It turns its head, slowly, and it looks at her. Indrizzi drives home without stopping. The following morning, she goes to the Elkhorn Public Library. She searches through reference books until she finds an illustration that matches what she saw. It appears in a 1976 publication called The Golden Book of the Mysterious. The caption reads simply, "Werewolf. This is exactly what I saw," she says later. "This is it. You don't mistake something like that." 2 years pass. Then, Halloween night, 1991. Heavy fog across Walworth County. Doris Gibson is driving along Bray Road when her front tire lifts off the ground. She has struck something. She stops the car, gets out, looks behind her. The road is empty. No blood, no fur, no evidence of impact. Gibson walks to the back of her car. That is when it comes out of the tree line. "Here comes this thing," she says. "It's just running up at me. You could see the chest of this thing. It was big. It was hairy. It was fast." She gets back into the car and floors the accelerator. The creature reaches the trunk. It grabs hold. It slides off only because the metal has become slick in the rain. Gibson escapes. But the night is not finished. Later, she picks up a friend from a party on the other side of the county. The friend knows nothing of what happened on Bray Road. On the drive home, without any prompting, the friend points out the passenger window and screams, Look at that thing. Gibson does not look. She drives. The independent corroboration, a second witness, entirely unsolicited, reacting to the same creature in the same location on the same night, is one of the details investigators note when formalizing the Gibson case. It is also one of the details that separates it from a standard sighting report. By late 1991, the stories have circulated long enough in Elkhorn that the Walworth County Week decides to formally look into them. The editor assigns a reporter. Her name is Linda Godfrey, and she is, by her own account, skeptical. That skepticism is crucial, because Godfrey does not approach the investigation as a believer. She approaches it as a journalist, which means she begins by looking for the most mundane explanation available. She starts with Fredrickson's folder. She reads the note cards. She interviews the witnesses separately, in different sessions, comparing their accounts for internal consistency. What she finds does not debunk the story. The descriptions align across witnesses who have no established connection to one another. The geographic locations cluster. Godfrey maps the sightings and notices that they concentrate along a specific corridor, Bray Road and the surrounding Walworth County farmland, with secondary reports extending into Jefferson County, where St. Coletta School is located, the same county where Mark Shackleman reported his encounter in 1936. 55 years earlier, Godfrey's article runs in the week in December of 1991. The headline is restrained, journalistic, but the content is unusual. A documented first-person investigation of multiple witnesses, interviewed on record, separated by years, describing the same creature in the same geography. The story is picked up nationally, then internationally. What Godfrey does not anticipate is what happens next. More witnesses come forward. An 11-year-old girl named Heather Bowie comes forward and states that she saw the creature around Christmas of 1990. Before Gibson's Halloween encounter, before Godfrey's article, and before any of the story had circulated publicly. Bowie is interviewed. She has no documented prior knowledge of any existing report. Her description is consistent with the others. A local dairy farmer reports a large hairy creature in his fields. He does not call a reporter. He calls the humane officer. As the months pass, the file grows thicker. Godfrey eventually expands her journalism into a full-length book, The Beast of Bray Road, Tailing Wisconsin's Werewolf, in which she presents the documented testimony of dozens of witnesses across multiple years and counties. She does not claim to know what the creature is. She makes no definitive assertion about its nature. She claims only that the witnesses, by every journalistic standard she can apply, appear to be sincere. That distinction matters. Sincerity does not equal proof, but it eliminates one of the most comfortable dismissals, that the witnesses are simply making it up. If you are finding this story as compelling as I did while researching it, make sure you are subscribed. This channel covers cases exactly like this one. Documented, sourced, and stranger than anything a screenwriter would invent. Now, back to Bray Road. The Beast of Bray Road has since become one of the most documented cryptid cases in American history. In 2018, the independent production company Small Town Monsters released a feature documentary, The Bray Road Beast, compiling witness interviews, historical records, and geographic analysis spanning nearly 90 years. Television programs from Discovery Channel to Travel Channel have covered the case. Academics in the field of cryptozoology cite it as one of the strongest clusters of independent witness corroboration on record. But here is the detail those programs rarely linger on. The folder. Fredrickson's manila folder, the one marked Werewolf, is not a tabloid artifact. It is a county record. Its contents were documented by an official whose job had nothing to do with monster hunting. The note cards inside it describe encounters reported by people with no particular motivation to lie, filed through the same process used to report loose livestock or aggressive dogs. The conventional scientific explanation, offered by wildlife biologists and skeptics in Walworth County, is misidentification. Grey wolves, occasional in the southern counties of Wisconsin, are large and can appear startling at night. A mange-afflicted bear moving at speed could be misread by a frightened motorist. A large dog, a Great Pyrenees, a Newfoundland, could resemble something more alarming in poor light. These explanations are reasonable, and they account for some portion of what was reported, but they struggle with specifics. The kneeling posture Indrizzi describes, the deliberate eye contact, the creature that matched Doris Gibson's vehicle for speed along a rural road, and maintained grip on a moving car. The three-syllable vocalization Shackleman documented in 1936. The geographic clustering across Jefferson and Walworth counties that predates Linda Godfrey's published investigation by decades. None of that is explained cleanly by a misidentified wolf, and none of it has been officially closed. The Walworth County Humane Office no longer maintains an active file on the Beast of Bray Road. No law enforcement agency has issued a formal determination. No university has published a peer-reviewed study definitively identifying the creature. What remains is the testimony, the note cards, the match descriptions, the 11-year-old who saw it before the story broke, the friend in the passenger seat who pointed at something she had never been told about, and the burial mound in Jefferson County, still standing on the grounds of St. Coletta, where a night watchman in 1936 saw something he could only describe by praying. 90 years later, the case has not been solved. The file has simply been closed. Those are not the same thing. If you made it this far, thank you for watching and for keeping these stories alive. Make sure to hit subscribe and turn on notifications, because next time we are uncovering a true story even darker than this one. Until then, stay curious, stay safe, and never forget to say thank you. Thanks for watching.